Right now, in a sprawling warehouse in Oregon, there's a machine with no facelifting heavy plastic bins off a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it doesn't take breaks, it doesn't complain about its lower back, and it's actually getting paid by the hour to do it.
Which is wild.
It really is. The era of just watching those, like, slick demo reels of robots doing backflips on our phones, that is officially over.
Oh, entirely over.
Yeah. Okay, let's unpack this because the year is 2026, and we are crossing a massive threshold in human history right now.
They really are.
And to figure out what is actually happening out there, we took a giant stack of recent financial trackers, tech news articles, and robotics industry blogs, and we distilled them down for you.
Right, getting past all the noise.
Exactly. Our mission today for this deep dive is to cut through the sci-fi hype and analyze the hard financial and operational realities of what people are calling the embodied AI boom.
The embodied AI boom, yeah.
So whether you're an investor looking at these wild new public offerings or a warehouse manager trying to staff your floor or just someone sitting on the couch wondering when a machine is going to finally fold your laundry.
Which we all want, right?
Right. This deep dive is custom tailored to help you understand exactly where this technology stands right now. So to start us off, what exactly is the bridge we're crossing when we talk about embodied AI?
Right, so embodied AI is essentially the transition from the digital world to the physical world.
Okay.
Because for the last few years, the whole artificial intelligence revolution has been, well, entirely trapped inside software.
Like ChatGPT and Midjourney, things like that.
Exactly. Large language models, chatbots, image generators, they were all confined to massive server farms. But embodied AI takes that intelligence and basically downloads it into a physical chassis.
Into a body.
Right, into a body. We're talking about a machine that can sense the real world through cameras and torque sensors, actually reason about its environment, and then, physically alter it. It's the leap from a computer screen telling you how to move a 50-pound box to a machine actually walking across a factory floor, grasping that box and loading it onto a truck itself.
And looking at the financial trackers we gathered for this, the global markets are reacting to this physical transition with absolute mania.
Oh, mania is the right word.
I want to start by looking at China. There's a company called Unitree Robotics.
Right, Unitree.
And most of us probably recognize them from those viral social media videos like the robot dogs jogging in a pack or their humanoids doing martial arts.
Yeah, they've always had great marketing.
But they just launched an initial public offering, an IPO, on the Shanghai Star Market. And the numbers are just completely staggering. Can you break down what happened there?
Yeah, so the demand completely broke expectations. I mean, they priced the IPO at 150.80 per share.
Which is what in US dollars?
That converts to roughly $22.30.
Okay.
And that single pricing event instantly handed Unitree a valuation of about $9.04 billion.
$9 billion.
Yeah. $9 billion, yeah. But the valuation itself isn't actually what shocked the financial analysts. It was the sheer desperation from retail investors trying to get a piece of it.
Oh, right, the oversubscription numbers.
Exactly. The IPO was oversubscribed 8,288 times.
Wait, I'll make sure I'm hearing that correctly. Oversubscribed 8,000 times.
Yes, 8,000, meaning for every single share available to the public, there were over 8,000 requests to buy it.
That is insane.
It's nuts. The actual win rate for a retail investor, so meaning the everyday people applying in the online tranche, was 0.0181%.
So it's basically like trying to get front row tickets to the biggest stadium concert of the decade, but you're fighting, what, 5,500 people for a single seat?
Yeah, that's exactly the math. Roughly 1 in 5,500 people got an allocation.
And if you didn't get that seat, you were just out of luck.
Right. And because of that extreme scarcity, the pre-market contract price was trading at almost 4 times the offering price before the bell even rang.
People just wanted in.
People were willing to pay a massive premium just to get in the door. And furthermore, the Chinese regulatory approval process for this IPO, it took only 104 days.
Wow, that's fast.
It's the fastest approval timeline in the star market's entire history. So the state has clearly made humanoid robotics a massive national priority, and the capital floodgates have just been thrown wide open.
But help me understand the business side of this, because hardware is notoriously difficult.
Oh, incredibly hard.
Right, like building physical robots usually means burning through billions of dollars of venture capital for a decade before you ever see a dime of profit.
Exactly.
So why is Unitree commanding a $9 billion valuation today? Like, what makes them different?
Well, what's fascinating here is that Unitree has managed to completely invert that typical hardware startup narrative.
How so?
They are already highly profitable.
We really?
Yeah. According to their filings in 2025, they posted 1.7 billion yuan in revenue. That's about 235 million US dollars, and it's growing at an incredible 335% year over year.
That's huge growth.
But the truly shocking number is their gross margin. It's 60%.
Wait, 60%? That sounds like a software company's profit margin.
I know it does.
How do you get a 60% margin on a physical machine made of, titanium motors and batteries?
You do it through extreme vertical integration and part reuse.
Okay.
See, Unitree doesn't just buy off-the-shelf parts. They design and stamp out their own custom joint motors, their own actuators, their own battery systems.
Oh, so they own the whole pipeline.
Exactly. And because they've been selling those quadruped robot dogs for years now, they've already amortized their research and development costs.
I see.
The motors going into their new humanoid robots are largely the same foundational technology they've been iterating on for years. So they've essentially achieved economies of scale before their competitors have even left the prototyping phase.
That makes total sense. So they aren't just selling a sci-fi vision. They are selling a highly optimized manufacturing pipeline.
Precisely.
But, okay, here's the massive twist I found in the tech news articles we sourced for this. Despite that $9 billion valuation, and despite the absolute media frenzy surrounding Unitree, they are not actually the market leader in global shipments.
No, they are not, which surprises a lot of people.
Yeah.
If we look at the data from the first half of 2026, the crown actually belongs to another Shanghai-based company called Agibot.
Agibot.
Right. Agibot currently holds a commanding 44% of the global market share, having shipped around 8,400 humanoid units.
Oh, wow.
And Unitree sitting in second place with 31% at about 5,900 units.
How did Agibot quietly take almost half the global market while Unitree was getting all the viral attention? I feel like I never see Agibot on my feed.
Well, it really comes down to product philosophy.
Mm.
Unitree's volume leans heavily on their flagship G1 model.
Right.
And that robot costs anywhere from $16,000 for the base model up to roughly $73,900 for the advanced version. And they are primarily selling those into universities and research labs.
Basically to other engineers.
Exactly. But Agibot took a completely different route. They aggressively diversified their form factors.
Okay, meaning what?
Meaning they aren't just building humanoids, they are building compact bipedal lines, wheeled variants, and task-specific industrial robots. They basically blanketed the market with options.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. And this brings up a crucial economic reality in the 2026 landscape. Between Agibot, Unitree, and dozens of smaller firms, Chinese manufacturers currently supply over 97% of all humanoid robots shipped globally.
Okay, I have to push back here.
Sure.
97% is a staggering monopoly. But if Chinese companies are shipping almost every humanoid robot in the world right now, what about Tesla Optimus?
Tesla.
Right, because if you spend 5 minutes on social media, you see Elon Musk talking about billions of robots, massive factory deployments, a total disruption of labor. How can Tesla's actual market share be virtually zero if they are arguably the most famous robot program on the planet?
Yeah, it's a vital distinction to make, and it requires us to really separate the internet hype cycle from the actual commercial supply chain.
Yeah.
Because as of mid-2026, Tesla is playing an entirely different game than Unitree or Agibot. Optimus Gen 2 is simply not a commercial product yet.
It's not.
No. You cannot buy one at any price.
So all those videos of Optimus walking around like picking up shirts, those are strictly internal.
Completely internal. In 2025, Tesla shipped maybe 150 units in total.
That's it, 150.
That's it. And every single one of those units stayed inside Tesla's own walls, working at their Fremont and Austin auto factories.
Oh, wow.
Tesla is not trying to win the 2026 business-to-business sales race. That's not their goal. Their edge is an out-of-the-box capability today. Tesla's entire edge is their automotive manufacturing scale.
I get it. So they are treating the robot like a car.
In every way that matters, yes. I mean, a humanoid robot is essentially a battery pack, a bunch of specialized actuators, a wiring harness, and an AI vision computer.
Basically an EV with legs.
Exactly. Tesla took a 14-year-old auto assembly line that used to build the Model S and X and completely converted it to build Optimus. They already know how to die-cast aluminum at massive scale. They know how to source batteries and how to program factory lines. So they are keeping the robots in-house right now to validate the hardware and perfect that mass production process.
So what's the end game for them?
Their target is an eventual consumer price tag of $20,000 to $30,000 by 2028. They are betting that once they flip the switch on a gigafactory for robots, their sheer volume will completely overwhelm the current gap.
Right.
But today, Tesla is shipping in the hundreds internally, while China is shipping in the thousands globally.
Man, that is fascinating. So Unitree is flooding research labs with hardware, Agibot is blanketing the market with diversified models, and Tesla is keeping everything in-house to crack the mass production code.
Yep, that's the board right now.
Which raises a really practical question for you listening.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in the United States actually deploying robots to do real, dirty, blue-collar commercial work today?
There is, and it's not the companies making the loudest noise on social media.
Right, here's where it gets really interesting. In our industry sources, we found a company based in Oregon called Agility Robotics.
Agility, yes.
They make a bipedal robot called Digit, and right now they are going public via a $2.5 billion SPAC deal with Churchill Capital under the ticker AGLT.
That's a huge deal.
Huge. But real quick, for anyone who isn't glued to Wall Street news, what exactly is a SPAC and why does it matter here?
So a SPAC stands for a special purpose acquisition company. Essentially, it's a shell company that is already publicly traded.
Okay.
Churchill Capital raised a bunch of money on the stock market, and now they are using that shell to merge with Agility Robotics.
That's kind of a shortcut.
Yeah, it's a faster, slightly less traditional way to take a company public compared to what Unitree did with the standard IPO. And in this case, it is injecting over $620 million in growth proceeds directly into Agility's bank account.
Wow. And just look at who is backing that deal. You have Foxconn, Amazon, SoftBank, and NVIDIA.
The heavy hitters.
That is the Mount Rushmore of tech hardware. But the real differentiator for Agility, the reason they are getting this massive influx of cash, is that they have actual revenue-generating commercial deployments.
Yes, actual deployment.
We are talking about over 65,000 operational hours and over 100,000 totes moved for massive enterprise customers like Amazon, DxO Logistics, and Toyota.
Right. They aren't running carefully choreographed demos. Digit is on the floor, actually doing the incredibly dull, physically taxing warehouse tasks, like repeatedly lifting plastic bins from a conveyor belt and stacking them on a staging rack.
The stuff nobody wants to do.
Exactly. These are the specific roles that logistics companies chronically struggle to staff, because the turnover rate for humans doing that backbreaking work is incredibly high.
And our sources note that Agility just secured over $300 million in multi-year orders for their new Digit V5 model.
Yep.
And they are branding it as the world's first cooperatively safe humanoid. I need you to translate that for me. Does that mean the older robots weren't safe?
Oh, traditionally, industrial robots are terrifying.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Think of those massive robotic arms welding cars together. They use rigid gears and motors. If a human steps in the way, the robot doesn't feel it, and it doesn't stop.
It just keeps going.
It just swings right through you. That's why they're locked inside heavy steel cages.
Oh, man. Yeah. That makes sense.
But Digit V5 is entirely different. It uses elastic actuators and advanced torque sensors. So if Digit's arm bumps into a human worker, the sensors instantly detect the unexpected resistance, and the arm goes limp.
Oh, it just gives way.
It gives way, and that allows warehouse managers to deploy Digit directly into the aisles alongside human workers without building million-dollar safety cages.
That is a massive operational advantage. But I want to look at this from the perspective of a business owner. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say I run a logistics hub. A Digit robot costs roughly $250,000 to purchase.
Right.
Why on earth would I drop $250,000 on a piece of hardware that, given the rapid pace of AI, might be an obsolete paperweight in 3 years?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the answer is you wouldn't, and Agility knows that. Asking a warehouse manager to risk massive capital on depreciating hardware is a huge barrier to adoption.
Yeah, nobody wants to hold that back.
Exactly. So they completely sidestep the problem. They are utilizing a business model called Robots as a Service, or RASA.
Robots as a service. Okay, so instead of buying the hardware, it's like paying a subscription for a physical worker.
Precisely. Instead of a $250,000 purchase upfront, an operator can rent a digit robot for roughly $30 an hour.
Okay, let me challenge you on that math, though.
Sure.
$30 an hour still sounds expensive to me. I mean, I can hire a human forklift driver or a warehouse picker for, say, $22 an hour in most states. Why would I pay a premium to rent a robot?
Because that $22 human wage is an illusion when you calculate the total cost of ownership.
Ah,
When you hire a human, you aren't just paying their hourly rate. You are paying for healthcare benefits, workers' compensation insurance, payroll taxes, and training. Furthermore, humans need bathroom breaks. They get exhausted after 4 hours of lifting heavy bins, and they often quit after a month, forcing you to pay for recruiting all over again.
which is super expensive.
Exactly. But the robot, it costs a flat $30. It has an 8-hour battery life. It works continuously without fatigue. It never gets a bad back, and it never needs a sick day.
So it's the difference between capital expenditure and operating expenditure.
Yes.
It's basically like the difference between having to buy a $30,000 car outright versus just paying $30 for an Uber exactly when you need to get somewhere. You remove all the upfront financial risk and just pay for the utility.
And for agility, this creates a beautiful economic loop.
How so?
Instead of fighting for one-off sales, they build a stream of recurring, predictable revenue. They are currently building a dedicated manufacturing facility called RoboFab in Oregon, designed to pump out 10,000 digit units a year.
10,000. Wow.
Yeah. And the warehouse logistics market is projected to hit $326 billion by 2034. So agility is proving that if you can deliver a reliable, safe robot today, enterprise companies will happily pay by the hour to solve their labor shortages.
All right, so the warehouse logistics market is actively being conquered. The B2B space is moving incredibly fast.
Very fast.
But I want to bring this directly back to you, the listener, because if you are sitting at home right now staring at a sink full of dishes or a giant pile of laundry, you probably don't care about a $250,000 industrial warehouse worker moving plastic totes.
No, probably not.
You want to know, when do you get a robot? What is actually available for the consumer to buy in 2026?
Well, it's vital to categorize these machines properly because just like vehicles, the robotics market is rapidly fragmenting based on the environment they operate in.
Okay, so it's not one size fits all.
Definitely not. If you want a humanoid robot for your living room today, your only legitimate option is the 1X NEO.
The 1X NEO.
Right.
This is built by a Norwegian robotics company with heavy backing from OpenAI.
That's the one.
And according to the tech blogs we sourced, it is currently the only humanoid robot specifically designed and marketed for the home that actually has active consumer pre-orders. And they are targeting shipments for late 2026.
Yeah, and if you look under the hood of the NEO, you can see how radically different the engineering philosophy has to be when you are designing for a residential home versus an industrial factory.
Right, because it's a totally different physical presence. Like if you put a 65-kilogram metal agility digit in a family playroom, that's intimidating.
Very intimidating.
But the NEO weighs only 30 kilograms. That is literally half the weight of the Tesla Optimus.
It's very light.
And it doesn't look like a metal skeleton either. It has this soft, almost fabric-like exterior. It operates at a whisper-quiet 22 decibels. It was specifically engineered from the ground up to be physically safe if it accidentally bumps into your toddler or your golden retriever.
And a big part of that safety comes from its drive system. The NEO uses something called a tendon drive.
Yeah, I saw that term in the sources. What exactly does a tendon drive do differently than a normal robot arm?
So traditional robots use heavy metal gears and motors at every single joint to create movement. A tendon drive actually mimics human biology. It uses a network of high-tension cables and pulleys, similar to human ligaments and muscles, to pull the limbs into position.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, and by removing the heavy geared motors from the joints themselves, the limbs become incredibly lightweight and naturally compliant. There are no exposed metal pinch points to catch a finger in.
Okay, so it's physically safe and it's lightweight. But here is the multi-$1,000 question.
Let's hear it.
How smart is it? Like, if I unpack this thing in my living room, can it actually do my laundry autonomously right out of the box?
The short answer is not quite yet.
Uh,
Yeah, whether you pay the $20,000 to buy the NEO outright or you choose their $499 a month subscription model, you really have to understand its current software limitations.
Which are,
For highly complex or entirely new tasks in your specific home, It relies heavily on a feature called expert mode.
Which is essentially a remote control system, right?
It's remote teleoperation, yes. The AI is incredibly advanced, but houses are chaotic environments.
Right. Every house is different.
Exactly. Every home has different cups, different folding techniques, different layouts. When the NEO encounters a new situation it just doesn't understand, it securely routes the problem to a remote human operator at 1x.
Wow. A real person.
A real person. That human expert takes over, teleoperates the robot to complete the task like showing it how to fold your specific brand of shirt, and then the robot's onboard AI learns from that exact physical interaction.
So it can do it autonomously the next time.
Exactly.
It's literally learning on the job through human guidance. And this consumer focus is a completely different approach than a company like Figure AI.
Oh, totally different.
Yeah, we saw in the trackers that their newest robot, Figure 03, carries a staggering $39 billion valuation in the private markets. But they are strictly an enterprise play. They partnered with BMW to put heavy-duty robots on automotive assembly lines.
Right, they aren't going in your kitchen.
No. So if you are listening to this and you actually want to pull out your credit card today, here is the breakdown of the landscape. If you run a university research lab, you buy the $16,000 Unitree G1.
Yep.
If you run a massive global logistics warehouse, you call Agility and rent a Digit by the hour. But if you want a machine to pick up toys in your living room, the 1X NEO is the only actual consumer option on the table right now.
And this raises an important point for anyone watching this space. I really encourage you to think critically whenever you see a headline declaring the quote-unquote best new robot.
Because there isn't one.
Exactly. There is no winner-take-all robot, just like there's no winner-take-all vehicle. You wouldn't use a lightweight, tendon-driven 1X NEO to lift heavy automotive engine blocks. And you certainly wouldn't let an industrial agility Digit anywhere near your child's playroom. The hardware is specializing rapidly to fit the specific physics of its environment.
So what does this all mean? We started today by talking about those old viral demo videos of robots jumping over boxes in a lab.
Yeah, the good old days.
Those days are officially behind us. With China currently commanding 97% of the global supply and shipping thousands of units, with Unitree pulling off a massive $9 billion IPO, and Agility Robotics securing a $2.5 billion SPAC to rent out physical labor by the hour. Embodied AI has transitioned from science fiction into a highly capitalized operational reality.
It really has.
And you should care about this because whether it is the supply chain delivering your packages, the factory stamping out your next car, or the literal home you live in, physical automation is rapidly arriving at your doorstep.
And as we watch these machines clock into the global workforce, I want to leave you with this final thought.
Let's hear it.
Think about how large language models like ChatGPT became so incredibly smart so quickly.
Right.
They did it by scraping and consuming the entire internet's supply of text. But robots like Digit and NEO are currently gathering a brand new kind of data that has never existed in a database before.
What kind of data?
Physical, real-world, kinetic interactions. They are building the world's first database of muscle memory.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. When Agility's RoboFab hits its capacity of 10,000 robots a year, and all those thousands of machines go to sleep at night and upload every physical experience, every dropped box, every slippery surface, every successful grasp to a shared cloud, what happens to the pace of AI evolution when that physical data flywheel reaches critical mass?
That's just wild to think about.
We've seen what artificial intelligence can do when we give it our words. We are about to see what it can do when we give it our physics.
It's no longer a demo reel. The machines are clocked in. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep your eyes on the markets and keep your eyes on the machines. We'll see you next time.